If you clicked on this video, it's because you want to know which language learning app is the best one to use. Now, there are many applications out there, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing all of them. I will be telling you the pros and the cons of each app, and at the end of the video, I'll be telling you guys which app is the best one to use overall. To get started, I'd like to talk about Duolingo. Now, Duolingo is an app that, yes, it is free, and yes, it is very easily accessible, and yes, it is very pleasant to look at. It is also quite repetitive, tedious, and annoying, and on top of that, it also has robotic voices which do not help at all if you are learning a tonal language like Vietnamese or Chinese, which has a lot of tones in it, right? You can't tell the difference between different words if you were to be using Duolingo. Now, another resource that I would like to mention is Memrise. Now, Memrise is quite a good resource. I've used it a lot personally. I really like it. It worked a lot for me for Russian, but for languages such as Mandarin, and once again, languages that not just tonal languages, but I think also for languages which are not as commonly taught or as commonly known as the major languages, it's a bit hard to find good decks for them. It's a bit hard to find good resources on the app to actually use. Courses on the app, may I say. Apart from it being really difficult to find resources on the app itself to study certain languages, the app also is very repetitive at times, and it'll make you look at the same stuff over and over again, and that can be quite discouraging. Memrise also has many ads, okay? Like extreme amount of ads. When I mean like an extreme amount, I mean like quite a bit of ads. Now, the ads aren't advertising other businesses, they're only advertising their premium service, but it can get quite annoying when it's showing up every 5 minutes. But to be fair, in my opinion, Memrise in certain aspects can be better than Duolingo. The next resource I'm going to be covering is Clozemaster. Now, Clozemaster is a resource where they give you sentences and you have to fill in the blank with a word. So let's just say it'd be like, I blank cats, right? And you have to fill in the word, or you have to fill in the blank by saying, I love cats, kind of thing. So with Clozemaster, which is actually, if you think about it, similar to Duolingo in some aspects, Clozemaster does have some of its own issues. Now, some of these issues being repetitiveness, just like the previous apps that we have covered. And not only repetitiveness, but it is not quite visually appealing to the eye, unlike Memrise or Duolingo. The app is quite, I don't know how to say it. It's bland, dry would be the best way to describe the app. Not saying it's not effective, just saying that like visually it is not the most appealing. And last but not least, it does have some incorrect sentences and mistakes in it, similarly to Duolingo. Actually, I should have mentioned that earlier. Duolingo and Clozemaster both have quite an issue because they both somewhat rely on the community to correct their sentences. There are mistakes in some of their sentences. So sometimes you'll see sentences with improper grammar or the wrong word, etc. So it is not a perfect resource which has been fact-checked all the way through. There are still many errors that you can find every now and then which you have to report for them to fix. Also, with Clozemaster, they have robotic voices. Now, once again, for most languages it works, but when you're learning a language like Cantonese, Mandarin, Vietnamese, whatever it may be that has a tone in it, or that has words that sound very similar, it will not help. Having a robotic voice will make your life very difficult. Now, the next resource I want to mention is called Drops. Now, Drops is an app which is beautiful. Like, visually, it is great. Now, usage-wise, is not as good. Now, let me get into the reason as to why I personally believe so. The app, first off, only allows you to use the app itself for 5 minutes a day. And it limits you unless you buy the premium version, which, I mean, it is understandable to pay for the service if you like their service. But compared to the other apps, the other very good apps which are available for free, I don't see why you would have to pay $20 subscription a month to be able to use their service. Also, there are aspects within the app, which add to the aesthetically pleasing aspect, which makes the app attractive, but that also distracts from the learning. Now, what I'm trying to say with that is things such as animations within the app may make the app very appealing to use, but at the same time, it takes away attention from the actual learning taking place within the app itself. you'll be focusing more on the pretty colors and the pretty movements going on in the app and in the pretty pictures rather than the actual vocabulary, voices, and lessons going on in the app, in my personal opinion. Now, the next resource I want to cover is a resource called Anki. Now, I just want to let you know now, I'm going to be a little bit biased and I'm going to say that Anki, in my opinion, is the best out of all of these. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly why. So, Anki is above all of these issues. Anki has many great features. Anki is very customizable, all right? Both a computer and a phone app, which you can use alongside add-ons, flashcards that you make yourself, so you can modify them and make them in whatever style that you would like to. They give you there's an entire section of the app dedicated to editing the flashcards, and there is a light and dark mode. So once again, let me repeat that. Add-ons, light, dark mode, and your own personal style of flashcards, which you can add to it, all right? That's just being able to customize it, okay? To make it less repetitive like most of these other apps are currently being. Because, the same format shows up again and again and again, but if you'd like, you could change it. The next topic I'm going to touch on about Anki is the fact that it does not have any robot voice in it. Now, you can add a robot voice if you'd like. You can actually add no voice or no audio if you like to your flashcards. But if you would like, you could add live recordings or recordings from the internet onto your cards, and you could add non-robotic voices. So you could actually hear what native speakers say on your flashcard. I'll play an example right now as a comparison between Duolingo, Clozemaster, and an Anki flashcard that I personally have in one of my decks.
我们很快就到这儿了，不是吗？
Một con cá và một cái ca.
我喜欢吃苹果。
Now, another thing about Anki is that it is extremely efficient, all right? You can use the app for 5 minutes in one day and get through the flashcards that you need to get through to memorize your vocabulary or your grammar points or your lessons. Unlike most other apps where you have to fill in the blanks over and over, write entire sentences, say something into the microphone, with Anki it's simply flashcard, I remember, I do not remember, I somewhat remember, I remember it well, and on to the next flashcard. 5 minutes a day has worked for me personally. Now, as I had previously stated, Anki is both available on phone and on the computer. Doesn't matter what kind of computer you have. It could be a Mac, it could be a Windows computer, a Linux computer. You can download Anki on any of them. If you have Android, you can download Anki for free. But unfortunately, if you have Apple, it will cost you this amount right here. I believe last time I checked it was about $25. So sorry for my Apple users, but you can always download it on your computers for free. But not only are they available on both platforms, being PCs and mobile devices, but you can also work both of them in very similar ways. The outline and the best way to say it, the interface. The interface does not change from platform to platform. It stays relatively the same, and there are no major changes, meaning that the app is very easy to use. So you don't have any sudden changes in the application when you hop from your phone to your computer, from your computer to your phone. You can also sync your decks from your phone onto your computer and vice versa. So on Anki, there are also many community decks which are uploaded onto their servers, which you can use to your own benefit. Now, let's just say you want to learn HSK1 on Chinese, okay? You can look up HSK1 deck, and you could find an entire deck full of exactly what you're looking for. Once again, community-made apps, the best thing to happen, honestly. And keep in mind, all downloads, all decks, all lessons are 100% free. There's no charge at all. So chances are that even if you want to learn the most remote language, whether that be Biblical Hebrew or Tagalog or Vietnamese, you will always have some community-made cards out there on the Anki community website. Now, going off of this point, I would also like to mention that Anki is 100% free. 100%. There are no ads, there are no premium memberships, nothing. Anki is 100% free, and if I am not mistaken, it is also open source for those who value their privacy. Anki also uses something called spaced repetition, which is a very, very effective method that has been promoted by polyglots and teachers alike. It is a method where you are shown something, you remember it, it shows you it again in a few days. After those few days, it'll show you it again in a few weeks. After those few weeks, it'll show you it again in a few months, etc., etc., etc. The entire idea of spaced repetition is to refresh your memory so that you don't forget the word that you have been shown previously, or the sentence, according to going by whatever you're learning. This method has worked very well for myself and for many other polyglots on YouTube who have covered this subject. Fun fact, even if you don't study languages, but you're just interested, but let's just say that you study science per se, or medicine, Anki is a very, very popular platform between medical students for memorization of different parts of the body and different terminology. So the final verdict, once again, being based upon my own opinion, my own experiences, is that Anki is the best app because, once again, it is customizable, it does not have a robotic voice, it is very easy to use and get through, 5 minutes a day being enough. It is available for free on both platforms, being both phone and your computer. It has free downloadable community content for any subject that you would like to learn about. The app is 100% free, no ads whatsoever, no premium charges, and the app uses spaced repetition, which is proven to be a very, very effective method of memorizing different things. Now, thank you for watching this video. I hope you have found it useful, insightful, helpful. I don't know if I just said that word twice or not. I hope to see you again soon on my channel. This has been Lanko. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.